Response video to Armando, 20901012, whatever. Whatever. Anyway, sort of. Not really, but sort of. Not this government thing. I mean, there's lots of people are saying, well, this government's evil. And they're doing this libertarian thing, and they join up with this libertarian thing largely because of stupid issues like, oh, they'll, legalize marijuana, which they won't do. They'll give it back to the states, and most of the states won't legalize it, so it won't matter. But anyway, it's a whole other point. So let's say that they have some idea that the free market's a brilliant idea, and yet letting people get obscenely wealthy is a brilliant idea, and birthright is a brilliant idea, which, all can be knocked down pretty easily as not brilliant ideas, really dumb, primitive, stupid ideas that destroy the economy and all sense of fairness and justice. But anyway, let's ignore all that. And let's just pretend that there was some sort of legitimate argument or some legitimate competition between government and the free market. So the argument is that government is incompetent, that it can't do anything right, that everything it touches turns to shit. And that's it. That's as far as it goes, though. There's no explanation for why that should be true. Why should government be completely incompetent? And there's reasons. And so it's not the idea of government itself that is wrong. We the people. No, there's nothing wrong with the concept. Okay? It just goes wrong. And somehow, because of the form, the shape of the monster we've created and we call government. I would argue the two-party system is a big part of that. I mean, as soon as you have a party system, then you have all this patronage crap, all this, look, you worked for the party, so when we create policy, you'll be on the pretend, better list for a contract, a government contract or something else. And then that's when, oversight gets kind of blurry because, well, it's my friend and I don't want people watching his books and looking into what he's doing with the money. So that's where billions of dollars disappear. And then it becomes you got the whole union thing. There's all the government employees. Oh, a little tiny deer. I don't know if I can get him or not. Really, really small. Like about an hour old. Look at him. Oh, fuck, he's really tiny. There he goes. Just burned. Another victim. He ground up in the mill. Poor little fella. Don't let him name you Gary. Okay, anyway, you'll go crazy. So anyway. So yeah, government employees, so it becomes this big, huge union, which is just a voting block. And so then they get whatever the fuck they want because nobody wants to piss them off. Yeah, so I guess the point I'm getting to is that why government doesn't work is because it's rackets, because it isn't an umpired system. It's a rigged game. There's nothing, government can do things, it just can't do them if you have corruption all over the place. And that's what the system is made out of. And unfortunately, the check against that should be that the average person is honest enough that they wouldn't let the shit go on. Especially when they got a government job, they'd say, hey, I'm working for the government, I'm a public servant, I'm not going to play these stupid games. No, I don't want tenure. No, I don't want this. No, I don't want that. Because other humans in society aren't getting that. I mean, it's just so obvious when you look at things like, government employees have their own health insurance program and all this other crap. It's just bullshit. What the fuck is that crap? You're our servants, and yet you get a special health care program? Fuck you! Doesn't make any sense at all. So anyway, there's all this like automatic salary increases, pensions, health care, dental care, this care, that care, all this crap that they've maneuvered out of the system through nothing short of extortion in most cases. Like, we'll grind society to an absolute halt unless you give us what we want. And so the people who have the power to extort somehow we think they're the only ones that are entitled to the protections of a union contract. So if your job if it doesn't take a year to learn how to do it, then that's sort of some kind of line that says, okay, you're not a vital human being. Or if you don't have 150,000 or 500,000 or 2 million members in your union, so they can all go on strike at once and scare the hell out of the employer, you're not a real human. I mean, workers' rights should be a part of constitutional law, period. That people shouldn't need unions, and they certainly shouldn't exercise the power of a union when all they're really doing is extorting. When you're not fighting for fairness anymore, you're the enemy, you're not the victim. That's how I look at it anyway. Most unions are just taking grotesque advantage now. And so they're creating an incompetent and a lazy and an overpaid and an inefficient government. But theoretically, government could be incredibly efficient because we, the people, would be running it. We would have, the books would be open. Everything that went on would be right there for everybody to scrutinize. There'd be no secret little cabal stuff. There'd be no monopoly talk. There'd be no conspiracies by the rich. There'd be no, let's move granddaddy's money into this thing and let's subdivide this and let's buy up some little companies so we can hide our income from tax man and all that kind of crap. And we wouldn't have the leech of the rich just sucking blood out of our economy. We can have non-for-profit businesses, and they can be called government. But obviously you can't call anything government now, because government's broken. So anyway, my point was it's a two-party system. The only way you get rid of that is you got to have instant runoff voting, and you got to have truly democratic, representative legislative bodies. So Congresses and Senates and state legislatures, they have to be not geographically owned, they have to be ideologically owned. The whole population has to have the right, a guaranteed right, of a representative. You can't have these district elections where you disenfranchise 40% of the electorate every election. 40% are losers, or 49% often, because they engineer the districts and by the parties so they can kill as many votes as possible. That actually goes on in party politics. They sit in their little smoke-filled rooms and try to figure out how many people they can steal representation from. Like, oh, we got a real popular guy in that district, so let's expand it a few miles because we can wipe out, 200,000, 250,000 votes from the Republicans. I mean, that's what goes on. That's the kind of bullshit. We can have a system that don't have any of that corruption, that isn't allowed to play any of those fucking games. And then we can have government we can be proud of. But until then, yeah, we're fucked. And these assholes who keep arguing about, well, 300 years ago, this society did that, and then look at the Soviet Union or some other kind of bullshit example. None of these examples are pure examples. They've all got pollution in them. So there's no point in looking at what has been, because what has been has always been in the context of some limitation, either technology in the past or it just wasn't a pure example. It had lots of cheating going on, lots of rule breaking. So yeah, it still has to be a theoretical argument. There's no point in pointing to broken examples. Let's just argue the theory. There's nothing in theory dysfunctional about government, because it can be identical to any publicly owned business in terms it can be run by competent people who are accountable. They must produce a level of productivity and efficiency, and they just have to they just have to meet certain requirements of decency and honesty, and we will be the beneficiaries. Society would be a much better place if we don't have people, if we have people trying to be productive rather than people trying to make profit. Profit is a great personal incentive, but it's a very bad social construct. Productivity's got to be the key standard by which we judge everything, anything. Making a profit, a business being profitable isn't the only ambition. The ambition is to make a business that functions, that produces a product for a consumer, pays its employees, maintains its business. Whether it produces a profit or not really shouldn't be the measure of success or failure. Anyway, enough said. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Libertarians suck. You all suck. I mean, you know, except for you and you. Something like this. 3 or 4 of you, maybe. But anyway, I'm going away. Bye.